living inside your aquarium. So I just got out of the hospital, and I know I posted that, and I didn't want to scare everybody, I guess, because people were asking for follow-ups, but there's too many of y'all to follow up. So I just wanted to make this quick video, and I figured I'd do a species spotlight while I'm at it. I don't have too much energy. I'm going to keep it short, and I know that Danny and Kenny of Danny Can Aquatics are going to be streaming, I think, at 7, so I want to make sure not to stomp on their territory. But I'm out of the hospital. What happened was I had a tooth, one of the ones that needs to get pulled anyways. They all need to get pulled since my accident. But there's a bunch of broken teeth, so one of them got infected, and it was already had a root canal, so I couldn't feel the pressure and infection, and it got out of control, and it went into the bone in my jaw for the last week or two, they think. And then by 2 days ago, my cheek had swelled out, like, you know, another about 3 times as much as it is now. It's gone way down. It's pretty much not detectable anymore. It's still got a hard lump in it, though. But in any case, they had to do IV antibiotics and fluids, and it went into the blood. So lucky that I went in when I did. But I'm home. I had to bring home a bag of I'm like trying to show everything. It doesn't matter. A bag of IV stuff. So they let me go home rather than stay another night. As long as I did that last night. So I got home late last night, actually, and then I slept most of today. And then I had some friends put together a gift for me. So real quick, I wanted to go over some new fish and just say hello. I'm hanging in there. Hopefully I'm getting the teeth extracted, the 1 or 2 that are the problem, tomorrow or the next day. And then my birthday's on Tuesday, so I hope it's tomorrow so that I can have, I don't know, 24 hours to heal. That's always my luck. Stuff always happens like that. But thank you guys so much for the support and the compassion and the well wishes. Honestly, I was bored just waiting in that hospital bed all day, and waiting for labs and just in pain. And so I thought I'd post like, hey guys, I guess I'm not streaming today. But rather than getting sarcastic comments about not streaming, y'all were very, very sweet. So thank you. It means a lot. You know, especially with everything going on. It's just kind of been my wife and I lately, and a couple close friends I keep in contact with, but it feels more lonely than it actually is. And so so many kind thoughts meant a lot to us. So thank you from my wife and I. Moving on, let's look at some fish, guys. I've got a little story to tell you. Not streaming long, like I said. We'll do a longer stream for my actual birthday on Tuesday, my normal stream. So, yeah. Oh, you got mugged, Lee? I'm sorry. Geez, that's rough. I've had that happen too. That's no good. That is a bummer. Jerry, by the way, your fish are doing great in here. They're up here. They've colored up really well. They're back under, kind of hiding under some plants in the new aquascape. There's 3 of them in here anyways. The other 3 are down here, and I'm trying to spawn them. So those are CPDs. However, before I get to the new Danios species, that is awesome, I'm going to do just a quick little preview of hello. These are erythromicron or emerald dwarf rasbora and celestio pearl danio or marginatus, sometimes called galaxy rasbora or galaxy danio. CPDs is common also name, but these guys are 2 males, and they are real pretty, but these are hybrids. So these are erythromicron and the emerald dwarf rasboras. When they've actually spawned together, this is what their babies look like. So they're bigger than CPDs, and they have a dark half of their upper body, and then really bright orange fins, but with no color striations. And they're way bigger than their parents. Yeah. So I've never really kept them for long. Here's a normal, well, they're not going to hold still. They're outside of a bag. But the normal CPDs are running around this tank, which is doing well. It's got some algae, and as you can see, I've got all biological cleanup crew. I've got baby plecos and nearite snails and autosynclus all cleaning in here, more of the nearite snails. And with 5 nearite snails in here just while it cycled through its algae, I've seen maybe 7 or 8 white egg spots that, you know, usually you see all over with nearites. So the horned zebra nearites have been in here for 2 weeks, and, you know, the rocks aren't covered, the glass isn't covered. There's a few random spots where there's like 3 or 1 or 2, and that's it. So I really recommend those. But let's get to the fish that is in the thumbnail, and that is a fish that I have been hunting for a really long time. This fish was 2 fish for the last decade. And the one with the yellow tail is the male, who's going back and forth quickly. Whereas the one with the broken line pattern right here with the bigger belly, that is the female. And she has an iridescent blue color to her. Let's see if we take them out of the tank, if we can maybe see some of that in another light. They're going to be stressed and not colored like they normally would be, but you can really see the yellow fins on the one. The other one will have these iridescent blue fins, and these are called Brachiodanio Hikari, and they're named after the Hikari food company. If you can imagine that, where would a fish get a name like Hikari? Well, it turns out that Hikari, who makes a lot of the food that I like, actually, a lot of the algae wafers, and this one that I really love to feed my shrimp and stuff, and snails, the Hikari crab cuisine. So they funded an expedition into Myanmar, and these fish are, they thought for the last probably 15 years, they had seen them off and on. They're from a remote river in Myanmar in the northern mountainous regions, which before that was controlled by a military dictatorship. Then after that, it was controlled off and on by warlord that grew poppies, and you can guess what they did with that. And then Afghanistan war happened, and they lost their ranking. Afghanistan became the big poppy producer, and they kind of cooled down the war in the region, and there were less of the communist or fascist groups that were fighting each other in those remote areas for the last 50 years, really, since the early 60s. But now scientists since 2006 have been in there, and as we know, with the erythromicrons and the celestial pearl, the CPDs, which, let's see, one will probably swim past here. They are a beautiful fish that has come to really spread across the hobby quickly. 2006 is the first year that they were even described, and 2007 is when they came to the hobby. And Jerry Serple Morris gave me these ones, which was very kind of him. But most people know what a CPD looks like. They're very pretty. And then for the erythromicrons, let's see if there's any out in here. And I've had them hybridized, but only like 1 or 2 babies. And the hybrid babies are bigger, and they usually have spots. There's one right there. Let's come around. They usually have spots, but not always. Sometimes they have bars with spots, kind of like a mix of it. They'll probably come out in a sec. But these ones live in the Lake Inle and Shan water basin and delta, these guys here. But you'll probably recognize these as the emerald dwarf rasboras. They're very shy and skittish usually, unless you keep them in big groups or you've really trained them. I guess they just don't want to come out and show off so much tonight. Oh, there comes one right there. with the stripes through the glare. Right here. Come on. Show off. There we go. Alright, so that's the Emerald Dwarf Rasbora. You guys have probably all seen it. So yeah, so these are the hybrids of those. Kind of cool. So that was a cool gift to get 2 of those. And then these, people thought at the same time that they discovered those, they discovered these. And if it weren't for Hikari, the food company, sponsoring genetic work in the United States, even though they're a Japanese company, we wouldn't know that these weren't Kerry Danios. So Brachiodanio Kerry, Kerri, look very similar, except for they don't have the break in the bar, and these actually come in several different types with a different patterns right at the caudal fin on the tail. And so these ones, they thought for the last 5 to 10 years, more 10 years in Asia, and the last 5 or 6 in the US, they've been making it into the hobby as Hikari Blue Danios and Hikari Gold. And they thought they were 2 separate collection points and that they were just hard to breed, which is like a crazy story given this day and age. So they finally put them together and they bred in captivity, and someone noted it and must have noticed that none of them were breeding in captivity before that, when they separated the colors. And so they realized that these were, they first thought about 7 years ago that these were a type of Kerry tetra that just had new color variants. So they were separating them all by the colors, and the Kerry by the different lines. Well, now they put them all together and they find that the males just come out yellow and the females come out with blue iridescence on the fins, and the stripe pattern varies. So they're a cool fish. They're very peaceful Danios. They're similar to the if we look at some of the other Danios that I'm keeping, they're very similar to the other peaceful Danios, like the Lake Inle or the Esculpi or the Shanensis or the Mekong Delta ones, pearls, the gold ring Danios, the Chopra or glow light Danios. You'll see them all swimming by in here. This is kind of my Danio tank. And yeah, so basically I kind of put Danios in 2 groups, which is big ones and little ones. But in that grouping, I usually put Kythit Danios with the big ones, because these Kythits with the purple and then the bronze spine, they can get mean. They can get nippy, and they get about 2.5 inches. Now those other Danios, they're going to get probably 2 inches long, about 2 inches, but they're not at all aggressive or territorial, and they're egg scatterers, which, I mean, most Danios are, but, so there's no, like, territory that's theirs, whereas some of the other ones, like this Fireline or, the other Danios in here, can get a bit mean. The Zebra Danios and the Leopard Danios and Pearl Danios, Giant Danios, Hillstream Loach out of Sri Lanka and Taiwan, some of those Danios, they're all kind of mean. The interesting thing is, so Hikari paid for the genetic testing just a few years ago, and on these new Danios, they found that they are actually completely a different group. Kerry is their closest relative, the Kerry Danio, but they are not related at all to the other Danios, and actually closer related to the Celestial Pearl Rasboras or Danios, whatever you want to call them, CPDs, and the Erythromicrons. So they actually evolved from the species that had the vertical bars rather than horizontal bars, even though they have horizontal bars, which is odd. So they don't quite know yet the genetics, if there's a few different groups of them, or if they will turn out to be a species that may look completely different. But they said that Yeah, they said that they're now, I mean, they're now sorted out that they're their own species, and they are pretty easy to keep, pretty easy to breed. They're like all Danios, really, for breeding. They're egg scatterers, so you want to probably either have a densely planted tank with marbles or thick moss or something at the bottom, and then pull the adults after you've fed them live food and with high protein for a while. Or you can also just leave them in a colony setting and they'll eat their babies, but hopefully not all of them. So they want to be kept somewhere between 68 and 82 degrees. They're pretty flexible in the heat. They live pretty high altitude, around 1,500 meters down to around 750 meters in the Myanmar and Thai and Chinese, I guess, probably, mountains, and kind of in that border region where Shan is. That's Shan, Shan region, which has a ton of beautiful fish that were all just recently discovered in the last 10 years. And these guys are probably the newest of those species, other than some chanas or snakeheads, which we can't have in the U.S. And so they're probably the last of the species that needed kind of describing, other than a few of the little sun Danios. Some of the little sun Danios and barbs too, like the ember barb, has another round of taxonomy to go. But so these guys, I'm glad to have them. It was a nice surprise when I got home to have some critters for this tank. So now we're going to have 5 Celestial Pearl Danios, 2 Erythromicrons, and then I also decided I was going to put some juvenile sparkling gouramis in here, 5 of them. And I figured that'll be a nice load with these 2 kind of as the main color in here. And then we're going to have to do a lot of trimming, and this carpet's got to grow in, and this algae's got to get eaten. But it's a process. Like, I haven't scrubbed the algae by hand. This is all biological cleanup crew, so they just need to get to those stones. They've just been working on the front more. And I have a theory that they might be working because of the crushed coral, that they're getting more nutrients in the kind of foggy, cloudy water. So just a thought. Maybe it's nothing, but it's a thought I had. But in any case, yeah, so they're doing good. And then also this mother is doing well with her babies. This tank's got lots of algae growing on it. I'm not going to clean it because the babies are clearly eating it. So if you see those babies near her on the ground there, they just look like little lines on this live stream. The camera's always bad quality on the live stream. But they're hanging out, and all these other ones are these gold cichlids, gold eye cichlids, or golden cichlids, whatever you want to call them, are constantly attacking her babies and her. And she's colored up. She went to gold, and then she went to a metallic gold, and now she's at like a black. But she's got about 30 babies with her. I took some of her babies, and the male is right. Well, let's see. He'll pop out over here probably. But the male is a beautiful color fish, and a nice blue color. This one, I mean, they're really hurting each other. That one has like a cut on its head. So they're really going after each other. They do need a bigger tank, I think. Probably going to take 3 of them out and just leave a male and the female in here. These are the Nana Cara, what are they? Aloma? Anomaloa, I think is how you say it. I've got a bad memory today. Sorry, there's a lot going on. But in any case, yeah, and then they're in here with the Burmese border loaches, which don't live anywhere near these guys. These guys are a South American cichlid. You can see the gold on that female. Here's the male, if we can get the blue and green in the shot at all. But he's willing to breed with several females, and he almost looks like a little Jack Dempsey or something. He's really metallic green and gold. So they're hanging out. The interesting thing, though, is that in that tank, I've been growing fry here, and there's more fry in here, and they're in a big tank that's way older. I mean, those tanks are the 2 new ones. This one's well established and has all sorts of little buggers swimming around in it. This one thinks I'm feeding him. But yet they're not growing anywhere near the rate of speed of the ones with their mother. So I think the mother is showing them food and, you know, doing all that. So I think they're grazing on the new tank syndrome algae that's popped up in here. So I'm going to let them do that, and hopefully they'll get to a size where they're big enough, and then I can move them around and so forth. But in here, everything's going pretty well too. The deep substrate Iwagumi tank. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of say hi, but have something to say other than, hey, I'm alive. And thank you all again for your kindness and your words. I appreciate it, and hopefully it's really painful just to talk, so hopefully I'll be able to get the tooth extracted tomorrow, or 2 of them. It might be 2. Right back there. And then on Tuesday, my goal, Tuesday is my birthday. Jen, you, thank you so much for the $2.99 super chat. I appreciate it. Really do. But hopefully that day I'll keep on the antibiotics and all that. And as long as it doesn't go back into my blood and stays in my jaw, I should be okay. But yeah, they had to give me a lot of IV antibiotics and morphine. Wasn't complaining about that, actually. And it's just a long, I just hate the hospital. So, but I'm glad that they were there. They were nice, and because of everything going on with the illness, they gave me my own room that was like for inmates, because it was a slow night. And so they put me in this room that had a sliding glass door, that was like bulletproof glass. And I got this like 20 feet by 10 feet or 15 foot room with a big bed and a morphine drip and the vitamin drip, and there were like 3 IVs hooked up. I was like, uh-oh, am I this sick? You know, I kind of got there thinking they'll give me antibiotics and tell me to get out of here, but they did a CAT scan and or a CT scan, and they noticed, oh no, we can't drain it. It's not like a pocket. It's the whole tissue and your blood that has the infection. So yeah, if you have a tooth that swells up, don't play around with it. Get on antibiotics and get in there. Because I have lupus, it probably happened quicker to me. I have a weak immune system. But, well, it's actually overactive and then it crashes. So it can be super weak or it can be super overcharged. It kind of goes both ways. But long story short, I'm back. And I appreciate your kindness, everyone. Wanted to show you a little species tour and a little just, hey, what's going on? Hopefully I'll be like I said, hopefully I'll be on the mend still by Tuesday. And Tuesday I'll probably do a 2-hour live stream as long as I'm up to it for my birthday. I don't know if you guys have any ideas for the stream, put it in the comments, but I'm thinking of maybe just going over like a few of my favorite things, like fish species, or I don't know, maybe we'll chat, we'll answer questions, but I want to spend it with you guys. Like, I want to spend it with my wife and you guys. So yeah, so I'll be back on Tuesday, and I may even put out a video that I recorded a while ago in between that. I always have an emergency video. But other than that, you know, thank you so much for watching the old videos, guys. They've been getting a lot of views, and we've been getting a lot of subscribers, and so it really, really means a lot. Yeah, especially the old videos where I spent a lot of time, and, you know, at the time I thought, oh, no one will ever see these. Other people other than like Bob and stuff like that. So Bob Kaler, who's been there since the beginning like a boss. Yeah, thank you, Bob. And a handful of others, you know, Zen Ginger and Ginger Graves. But in any case, I gotta go lay down. My fever's, I can feel it like breaking, so I'm about to get sweaty again. And yeah, so thanks guys for all you do, for being you, and hopefully we can get things back on track soon. If I don't show up Tuesday, you know, I'm probably back in the hospital, honestly, because I'll have to go back. If the swelling expands again, they told me immediately I have to go back and get more IV antibiotics, because it could be, they don't know for sure, they're testing it right now, but they're worried that it's like MRSA or something with how quickly it spread to the blood. So we'll see. I'm on a lot of antibiotics, so my stomach feels... Alright, that's not about fish, so let's get out of this. But thank you guys. You guys rock. And, the birthday's on Tuesday. Yeah, the 19th. So in any case, you guys rock, and take care of your fish, take care of the people around you, take care of your teeth, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Have a great night. Bye.